Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Ryan. Ryan is from Toronto in Canada. So, let's see what Ryan has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time so early morning to do the interview.
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. I'm excited for it.
Very good, Ryan. So just before we start the game, just tell me, where are you from?
So I live just outside of Toronto in Canada.
Okay, and what's the weather look like right now?
It's actually pretty mild today. So the last couple of months have been quite cold, negative 10, negative 20 Celsius. And today it's about, I think it's 11 or 12 degrees right now. So pretty mild, pretty nice today.
Very good. And what do you do for a living?
So what I do for a living is I actually run a company that teaches hypnotherapy mainly. So I certify new and growing coaches to use hypnosis and other techniques to serve them. First of all, to empower themselves, and then to serve their clients and empower their clients.
Very good. And in your opinion, what's the best part of being a hypnosis trainer?
The best part of being a hypnosis trainer for me is, the results that my students get. So I train them to learn all these skills. They use them to transform their own lives. And then I'm constantly getting messages back from my students who have gone out and used those skills to serve their clients, change people's lives, and get incredible results for themselves and others. And that's the greatest part of being a trainer, for sure.
It's amazing. And how long does it take the whole course?
It really depends on the student and what they're learning, but one of my claims to fame is that I get people competent and confident faster than most hypnosis trainers out there, because I've designed a special curriculum designed for people who want to get results in a hurry. So the live training portion that people come and do with me, they're able to hypnotize people and themselves and get results on the second day of training. By the end of the third day, they're already qualified to be a certified hypnotherapist. So it's quite a quick process with me.
Very good, very good. Okay, Ryan, so welcome to William and the Magic Box. Got here my lovely box full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play some music now just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay, Ryan, ready for the first question?
You bet.
Let's do it. Okay, the first question is, what is your favorite weekend activity?
Ooh, my favorite weekend activity. I think exploration is the word that comes to mind. My favorite weekend activity. So probably, going out into the world and finding something new to explore, whether it's an outdoor place like a park or an amusement park, or maybe, some other entertainment thing I haven't done before. Bonus points if it's some degree of, if there's some degree of travel involved. I'm a big travel enthusiast. I love being on the move, love exploring the world. I think that's the answer.
Very good, very good. Let's go for the second question.
Cool.
Hey Ryan, just before the next question, I was checking your profile, and it says that you're an ex-soldier and private investigator.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure, yeah. So more recently, I was a soldier with the Canadian Army. So I was with the Canadian Army Primary Reserve Force for about 5 years. During that time, most of the time was spent training. I wasn't deployed into combat. I wasn't needed during those 5 years to go into combat. So most of my time was just local in Canada, doing training, doing other taskings and stuff like that. It was a powerful time in my life. I learned a ton. I connected with amazing people. When you're in the military, anybody who's been in the military knows the Army becomes like a second family, right? Or whatever branch it is. So that was my Army time. Before that, actually my first career, when I was in my early 20s, was as a private investigator here in Canada. I operated in 2 provinces in Canada as a private investigator, and I was a field surveillance operative most of the time that I was doing that. So I was on the road doing stakeouts, using covert surveillance equipment, doing covert surveillance, and investigating all kinds of different cases. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and eventually the novelty kind of wore off a little bit. That's when I joined the military, and again, I got a lot out of it, and then I was looking for the new challenge after that, which led me to the path that I ultimately went down to get where I am today as an entrepreneur.
Very good. Next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
What can make me cry? I think, there's many things that can make a man cry. What comes to mind is like really sad movies or really sad stories. Sometimes might bring a little tear to the eye. I remember like being a little kid and watching like Titanic and being like, oh my God, this is so sad. And like, I don't remember whether I actually cried or not, but I feel like if there was going to be a time, outside of, normal, really sad situations, that would have been the time. And then the other half of the question was, what makes me laugh? Is that right?
What makes you really happy?
Oh, what makes me really happy? What makes me really happy? Learning makes me really happy. I really love learning. I really love stories. And, I touched on it earlier. I really love travel. Like, even if it's travel for work, which, over the last few years, I've done quite a bit of, there's just something about it. Just being out there, it makes me feel like I'm really doing something when I'm, flying around the world and seeing all kinds of different places. That makes me really happy.
Very good, Ryan. Let's go for another question for you. Okay, before the next question, Ryan, tell me a little bit. So, what most of your clients, when they come to you for a hypnosis session, yeah?
Yep.
What's the most benefits of it?
The most beneficial thing about hypnosis, and for me, most of my clients are actually my students, but I do, obviously work one-to-one with people as well. So the benefits with hypnosis are many, but the hugest benefit is just reprogramming their mind to be whatever they want their mind to be, because ultimately it's our mind that creates our reality, right? Our mind influences everything we feel, every decision that we make, every action that we take. And we, there's a large part of our mind, the largest part of our mind, called the unconscious mind, where stuff is happening outside of our awareness. And when it's outside of our awareness, it can be a little bit tricky to take control of. So with hypnosis, people actually, what they're gaining is ultimate self-control, control over not just their awareness and the conscious mind, but their unconscious mind as well, so that they can program it to create the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and therefore the results that they want in life. So hypnosis, it's all about self-control, and it's all about getting what you want in life. That's the hugest benefit. And of course, it branches to many different things. That could be getting rid of behaviors, that could be adding new behaviors, but it's all about getting what you want is the biggest benefit.
Good. Next question is, what can make you really angry?
Oh man, what can make me really angry? Not a lot of things, to be honest with you. Not a lot of things. I've been around the block a few times, and I'm probably more desensitized to so-called anger-inducing stuff than most people, just because of the path that I've walked in life. And I'm proud to say I've done a ton of self-work to have very, very strong emotional self-control, and I call it emotional freedom. When you teach hypnosis, which is the ultimate state of self-control, you get a lot of the benefits of it, and emotional freedom is one of them. I guess things that even after all of that is said and done, that would still make me angry, I think, is wasted. I'll put angry in quotes, but wasted potential. There's a lot of people out there that are not living their dreams, and I know that they could be. I know that you could be out there. If you're listening, if there's something you want to do and you haven't yet done it, it makes me angry that people don't realize that there's really nothing holding you back. It's the 99% of the cases, it's stuff going on inside your own mind that's holding you back. And if you realize that, you'd be able to move past it and get whatever you want in life.
Good. Love the answer. Another question. Okay, Ryan, next question for you is, if you won the lottery, what would be your first big splurge?
Ooh, what would be my first big splurge if I won the lottery? If I won the lottery, I probably would be inclined to buy something that I wouldn't otherwise buy, or I would be inclined to spend it on something that I wouldn't otherwise spend it on. So I wouldn't necessarily say like new house or new car or anything else or anything like that, or new watch. What would I spend it on? You know what I would do? I would throw up, assuming, if this gets to be my fantasy, I'm going to assume the pandemic is over when I win the lottery. I'm going to throw a big party. I'm going to, rent the most beautiful venue, and I'm going to invite everybody I know, and just pay for the food, pay for the drinks, pay for everything, and just throw a big bash to celebrate, life and have fun, and, give everybody a good time. I think that would be an awesome use of some lottery winnings. I think that's what I would do.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Next question. Okay, Ryan, before the next question, tell me in your opinion, what's the biggest difference between Toronto and Montreal?
Oh, the biggest difference between Toronto and Montreal. The first thing that comes to mind is the amount of people speaking French. There's a lot more people speaking French in Montreal than there are in Toronto. In Toronto, the dominant language is English. Beyond that, they've got a lot of similarities. Both big cities, both full of great people, both full of tons of stuff to see and do. I think one of the big differences that have come to mind for me is the roads in the winter. You can see some really interesting videos online of like city buses sliding down slick icy roads in Montreal. You don't really see that in Toronto too often. I guess there's a little bit less hilly roads, and I don't know, we do things a little differently. Those are the few things that come to mind immediately as differences.
Okay, next question is, what do you like the most in your best friends?
What do I like the most in my best friends? So, my best guy friend in the world would be this fellow named Raf. And a few years ago he moved to London in England. He lives in the UK now, and I obviously live in Canada still. And I think the thing that I love the most is that even if I don't see him for a year or two, whenever we do meet up, we go right back to 100%, where we left off. There's no need to reorient or recalibrate to each other. Like, such good, close friends, and we know each other so well that you could drop us anywhere in the world together, and we'd have a great time and catch up easily and have tons of laughs and all that good stuff. So I think that's one of the best parts, of having a good close friend like that.
So he lives in the UK right now.
Yeah, he lives in London.
Ah, interesting. My best friend, he lives in Montreal, actually.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, he's French, but he's been living there for the last 7 years, I guess. And I've been two times actually. The first time I went to Canada, I visited Toronto. I was around Toronto as well, but and the second time we explored more the French side, like Ottawa and everything. And I meant to go last year in October because of he had a baby last year, like 2 years ago, and just turned 1 year in October. So I meant to go, but because of the the world right now is upside down, so I didn't go. But yeah, as soon as the border open, I'll just get the first flights and I'll fly to Canada. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go back.
Yeah.
Right, Ryan, let's get another question for you. Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Ryan, tell me if you can share, like, let's say, what's the most memorable hypnosis session you had? If you could share, like, for positive to negative, like the most memorable one that sticks in your head.
The most memorable one, I think, and this answer is something that's going to always be changing because
Of course.
I'm all doing this stuff. But what was it? I think about 2 months ago, I did a group hypnosis session. There was about 6 people in the group, and they all went into hypnosis, and they all had their own unique, wonderful experiences. And there was one. They all gave had overwhelmingly positive feedback. But one of the people in that group hypnosis, I remember, at the end of it, we all came out of the hypnosis, and she was crying, and she was crying tears of joy, and she said, Ryan, that what just happened like totally changed my life, right? Everything is different now for the better. And then a few days later, even still, she messaged me and she was like, "Oh my goodness, this is one of the most important things that's ever happened, in my life so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you." And so that's, I think, one of the, whenever there's moments like that, that's so memorable because, again, it's not me. I'm not the person who discovered hypnosis. I just use the tools. But when I have the opportunity to use these tools and put them in other people's hands so that they can empower themselves, and then, she's going to go out and empower hundreds or thousands of other people too. It's just such a horrific and gratifying and delightful thing to be involved in. So that one's very, very memorable for me.
Saying that now, I actually just learned something new. I mean, I do understand things about hypnosis, but I didn't know so people can go under hypnosis in a group as well. I thought it was just one-to-one.
Oh, absolutely. You can do group hypnosis. In fact, one of my mentors was known to hypnotize hundreds of people at once. He used to specialize in hypnosis to help people stop smoking. And he would fill an auditorium with 100, 150 people, hypnotize all of them at once, and remove the habit of smoking with a greater than 90% success rate, right? Just through hypnosis. It's powerful, phenomenal stuff. And its power is only exceeded by its mystery. Most people don't, like yourself, don't know a lot about it, know what they've seen on TV. But hypnotherapy or hypnosis for the clinical purpose is very different than what we've seen on TV or in stage shows or anything like that.
Amazing. Just made my day now, learn something new.
Good, thank you.
Okay, Ryan, define yourself in a season of the year and why.
I think summer probably is the season I'm most connected with. Not that I'm crazy about heat, although I do like it. It's just that summer's the season where, pretty much anything is possible. Travel is possible. When it's summer, you can pretty much go most places. Most stuff is open. Most stuff is busy. Most stuff is happening. Summer seems to be, the season that everybody's waiting for. Everybody's just trying to get through the winter, and then come into the summer and it's time to actually really do stuff, make stuff happen. So I'm all about really doing stuff, making stuff happen, living life, experiencing things. And just the way it's always worked out. It's always been, these summer months is where the big work trips come up, or the big travel comes up, or the big shifts or the big training comes up in the summer. So summer is the season I feel most connected with, I would say, for sure.
Very good. Another question for you. Okay, before the next question, tell me something, Ryan. So anyone can go under hypnosis, and what's the preparation? There's like a special preparation before you do the session. How, if you can go through a little bit?
Yeah, so anybody can be hypnotized. Anybody can benefit from hypnosis. There's this myth. Some people believe they can't be hypnotized. Some people believe not everyone can be hypnotized. And anybody can be hypnotized. As long as they have a brain and they're alive, they can be hypnotized. The caveat is some people choose not to be. Some people choose not to be, right? Even if they're with a hypnotherapist, they always have the choice, or they don't like the process for some reason, or whatever. So anybody can be hypnotized as long as they want to be. As long as they genuinely want to be, they will be. So that's the first thing. The second thing is how does a person prepare for it? Well, there's no real special preparation that a person needs to do, particularly if they're seeing, a hypnotherapist or coming on a group training or something like that. Most of the time, it's just show up and be open-minded and be ready. What some hypnotherapists will do, and I teach my students, that this is a good idea, is they'll create some recorded hypnosis patterns or recorded hypnosis program, like a 15-minute or 20-minute thing, and just send it to their clients and have them listen to it, once a day for 2 or 3 days or even longer, leading up to the full hypnosis session, just to prime their mind with some ideas and to get their mind moving in the direction of hypnotic change. That's a really nice thing to do for hypnotherapists and coaches, but it's by no means is it mandatory, right? Hypnosis is so powerful and so incredible that, a person can show up for a session, sit there, relax, enjoy the session for 45 minutes or an hour with a hypnotherapist and get, massive benefits in many cases.
When you say that the person, they cannot be if they don't want to, it means that we can block our mind, or we can kind of, you can control that?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, this is one of the big misconceptions. People think that a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist can take control of your mind, against your will, make you reveal your secrets, make you do things you don't want to do, or embarrassing things. And that is a total myth. It is absolutely not true. I tell my students, my hypnotherapy students that are learning to be hypnotherapists, the client is always, always, always 100% in control of their mind. The hypnotherapist is in control of the session. They control the Zoom room, they control the office, they control what they say, but the client's always in control of their mind. And in every moment of every session, the client has 100% choice whether to participate or to reject anything that's going on in the process. They must, in fact, the client must make that choice. They have to choose to either participate and follow the instructions of the hypnotist or not.
Very interesting. Wow, very interesting. Okay, Ryan, what do you like to cook the most?
Ooh, what do I like to cook the most? Man, that's a great question. It's always different stuff. I don't think I have even a favorite dish that I cook most often.
Do you like cooking, by the way? To start with, do you like cooking?
I do like cooking. I do cook fairly often. Recently, I've been moving a little bit more towards pastas. I kind of got off pastas for a few years there. Now I'm getting back into it, with the homemade sauce and the cheeses and all that stuff. So pasta is a big one. And these last couple of months, I've been all about gourmet salads, which some people may be, surprised to hear. Like salads with, hard-boiled eggs and cheeses and preserved fruit and all this stuff in it. I don't know that you'd call that really cooking so much as just preparing, but those are a couple of the dishes that have been on my menu recently.
Very good. And there's something that you don't like to eat or to cook, something or?
Ooh, something that I don't like to eat or cook. Not really. I think, I'm pretty open with what I eat. Most stuff I'm pretty open to. I had to choose one thing. Years ago, as part of this challenge I was on, so I did this thing in Canada called City Chase, where it's sort of like, have you seen the TV show Amazing Race?
Not sure.
It's an American show where they have teams and people travel around the world and they do all these different challenges trying to win money. Anyways, in Canada, we have like a one-day version of this called City Chase, where you're in a team and you're going around a city and doing all these obstacles and challenges and stuff. And one of the challenges was to eat a live cricket, like a little bug. And I did it. And this was now going 10 years ago, maybe. And I still feel bad. That I ate that little cricket. It's not that it tastes bad or anything. I just feel bad that I did that. So I'll never eat that. I'll never eat a live bug ever again.
Imagine if you say like, well, that's now my favorite dish from since that time. Imagine.
Yeah, imagine if some people, it became their favorite dish. No, for me it was the opposite. Yeah, it wasn't grossed out or anything. I just I have this guilt associated with that.
Right, Ryan. Another question for you. Okay, next question for you is: do you have any nicknames?
Yeah, I have a couple. So in the military, we especially during training courses and stuff, we have a habit of calling each other by last name. My last name is Montis, of course, right? And so just sort of naturally, a lot of people started to call me Monty. So, and that kind of stuck. I still have friends that call me Monty. So that's one of the nicknames. And then, because again, my last name is Montis, also like Montgomery is another nickname that I have, Monty. Those are the big ones. Yeah, there've been others over the years, but those are the ones that have stuck.
As a child, did you have any as a child? Like family? No?
Not really. Just Ryan. Everybody just called me Ryan. I was the only Ryan in the family, so it was easy. Ryan is a short name. Yeah. Was it no fun or exciting nickname? It's not as far as I can remember. Anyways. There may have been, but not that comes to mind.
Another question. Right. Next question for you is: what would your ideal life look like?
What would my ideal life look like? Uh, Probably a lot like it looks now, basically. You know, I'm on career number 3 here, and you know, this is the one for me. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. And I'm at the point in my life where I realize anybody can do anything that they want to, if you know, if they apply themselves. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing what I want to do. So I have a company that I run. I'm the boss, and my company is all about empowering people, empowering other people, teaching people skills. To not only empower themselves but go out and empower other people. And I couldn't really ask for anything better than that. So you know, my ideal life is just having a nice home surrounded by good people, and you know, executing on my business and doing what I'm doing now. You know, happy and proud to say it. The only thing I would change is just the number of people that I'm serving, which is growing every day, growing every month, and I'm moving on in that direction anyway. So in an even more ideal life, maybe one day I'd like to, you know, do the big events with a sold out stadium of people and change, you know, 10,000 lives at once or something like that. That would be cool. That's something to work towards.
Very good, very good. Okay, Ryan, I have 3 questions left for you. Okay, let's do it. For the next question, tell me, during this epidemic time, this coronavirus, how did it affect your business? Or were you doing online classes, or how did you manage that?
Yeah, so how it affected my business at first, it really affected it, and then it really was a blessing in disguise afterwards. So I started my business only about 14 months ago, 15 months ago, in January of 2020, right? And so back in January of 2020, you know, I was running live in-person group training courses. I'd have a conference room in a hotel, and you know, people would come from all over, and I would train them in person. And so I ran a couple of courses, you know, January, February, had events going on each month. And then I went off to a conference in Los Angeles in late February, and then very, very soon after I came back, everything was shut down. Right? Everything, especially here in Canada, the pandemic was on, and everything was shut down, and so I could not run, you know, what my business was meant to do, was in-person training. And so, luckily by that time, I was already seeing success. I already had students and stuff. And I already had classes booked, and so I started getting in touch with my students and said, you know, are you willing to connect online via Zoom and do our training? And, you know, it'll be 100% as effective. I guarantee it. Are you okay with that? And everybody was like, yeah, of course. You know, we can save on our commute, and we don't have to stay in a hotel now, and all this. And I can, you know, save all this time. And I wound up, you know, totally unexpectedly, right there in early 2020, pivoting my entire business to being totally online. Which was something that I was always planning to do, but I was expecting to be doing it 2, 3, or 4 years after starting my business. And the pandemic just sped up that timeline. And, you know, it's been phenomenal. You know, since late 2020, I've been selling out my courses. You know, the classes have been full. I've been connecting with people, not just in Canada, but like I have students from Singapore, or the UK, many students in the United States, Europe. So it's, for me, you know, happy to say, for me, it's worked out quite well.
Very good. Glad to hear. Okay, who was your first crush and why?
Ooh, who was my first crush and why? Man, pretty sure that when I was in like kindergarten or grade 1, like when I was really young, there was a girl named Kathleen. I think her name was Kathleen. And I don't know if I'm remembering this directly, or if I'm just like, this memory has been reinstalled in my mind by my, you know, sister and cousins telling me this, you know, back in the day. But yeah, I seem to recall, you know. And why was she my first crush? I have no idea. I think probably the biggest thing was it's just at the time, relatives telling me that she was, right? Because I think at the time I was probably too young to even, you know for sure, or really understand what was going on. But my relatives being like, oh, Ryan's got a crush on Kathleen, right? So that's probably, right? Because when you're that young,
You don't.
your mind is just open, and what your parents tell you
Absolutely.
becomes your reality, right? So yeah, that's the answer that comes to mind. I haven't thought about that in quite some time.
Good. 2 questions left for you, Ryan. Right. Do you still go under hypnosis sometimes for a reason or anything, or not? You just do training right now?
All the time, all the time. I use self-hypnosis with myself quite often, most days. And then I'll even work with other hypnotists or hypnotherapists for me when I have stuff that I want to adjust, or goals, or just if another hypnotherapist or another trainer is doing something interesting or something new, and I'd like to experience it for myself. One of the things that I was having a problem with a couple of months ago was just procrastination, right? Because when you own your own company, there's no boss to tell you what to do, give you a schedule or anything. So I noticed that I was spending a lot of time just watching stuff on YouTube when I knew I should have been doing other stuff, and kind of getting distracted easily. And I created this self-hypnosis. It's called the self-hypnosis audio recording, using special binaural beats and frequencies and messaging. And I listened to it a few nights in a row. I think 5 or 6 or 7 nights just before I went to bed. It was just a 15-minute thing, and my productivity went up, I don't know, 500% or something since then. And since then I've been on fire and like really focused. And so yeah, even a seasoned trained hypnotist or hypnosis trainer certainly would be using the tools all the time.
Very good. Next question for you is, Ryan, if you were to raise a child, what are the most important things would you like them to learn?
Yeah, good question. If I were to raise a child, the most important thing to learn is that what you hold in your mind becomes your reality. What you hold in your mind becomes your reality. The thoughts that you think most often program, your mind and become your reality. And so people who think positive, optimistic thoughts most often tend to, manifest, so to speak, positive and good results in their life. And unfortunately, the opposite, can be true. So the first lesson would be, focus on positive. Be very mindful of what thoughts you hold in your head, because they do become your reality, right? Expectations have a way of becoming reality. And that's the big one. And then the other thing is just integrity, honesty, and that life is meant to be lived. Integrity and honesty in life. Life is meant to be lived. And I think a lot of people don't prioritize the quality of their own life. They put many other things above the quality of their own life and the quality of the lives of people around them. And I think that that's a mistake. I think that that's a common mistake. And so I think reinforcing that we should make decisions that improve the quality of our own life is very important.
Very good. Okay, Ryan, ready for the last one?
I am absolutely ready, yes.
Let's do it. Okay, just before the last question, I'm gonna ask something. There's like a limit of people, like they can go under hypnosis, or it depends the case? Let's say, like for example, someone gets addicted to it or love doing it, it can do like often, or there's like a limit or something?
Oh, how much is too much, right? Really, there's no limit. People can use hypnosis every day. People can use it as much as they want, because here's the thing: hypnosis is different than many other things that are out there. It's not drugs. It's not, in any way unnatural. Hypnosis is a totally natural phenomenon, right? It's just as natural as sleep, just as natural as feeling happy, just as natural as breathing. Hypnosis is a totally natural thing that is built into every human being. Everybody has the capacity to go into hypnosis, to use hypnosis. So there's really no amount that is too much. I know, and this is excessive. I know some people who, meditate for 3+ hours a day, right? And physiologically, to the body and to the mind, meditation and hypnosis are quite similar, right? And so, you don't need nearly that much time in order to get results. A few minutes a day is actually quite good for most people, or one focused session with a hypnotherapist, or a few focused sessions. But in terms of an upper limit, no upper limit. People can use it as much and as often as they want. Great question. Thank you. Nobody's ever asked me that before.
Oh, just made my day now.
Yeah. Good question. Love it.
Right. Last one is, tell us about your guilt pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure. I don't have a ton of guilty pleasures, right? Because, I think I just don't have the guilt. I work really hard, and so when I want to do something that I enjoy or that I like, there's no guilt attached to it. So I'll tell you some of my pleasures. I'll tell you some of the stuff I like with the caveat that I don't feel bad or apologize for anything that I do. So some of the stuff I like, that not work. I like, Netflix. I like watching movies. I like old action movies, old comedy movies, that kind of stuff. I think my two favorite TV shows ever, right? If anything was going to be a guilty pleasure, it would be these shows that I can just keep watching over and over. Actually, there's three. The Office, when I'm in the mood for comedy, the American version of The Office, I love it. I think I've seen every episode 4 or 5 times. And then Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are like my favorite shows of all time. And I can watch those stories over and over and really get terrific enjoyment out of it. Love it. So there we go. Again, no guilt, no apologies. And I recommend the same to the viewers. Don't apologize for the things you enjoy. But those would be the guilty pleasures.
I like that. Okay, Ryan. So now let's play the quick thinking game, okay? So I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me one word related to this one. I'll tell you, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, let's start with family.
Time.
Money.
Solution.
Love.
Passion.
Life.
Enthusiasm.
Sex.
Terrific.
Religion.
Inquisitive.
Like this word. Politics.
Tons of fun.
Fear.
Anxiety.
Friendship.
Power.
Regrets.
Never.
Desire.
Always.
Success.
Fulfillment.
Happiness.
Sadness.
Wish.
Command.
Canada.
Beautiful.
And the last one, hypnosis.
Incredible power.
Good, very good. Okay, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friends and I'm going to ask your best friends. Tell me the most beautiful thing about Ryan and tell me something that he needs to improve on. What do you think your best friend will tell me?
Oh, very good. I think my best friend would tell you the most beautiful thing about me is my honesty and my resourcefulness. I'm a very honest person. I often tell it like it is. There's not really many topics that I'm afraid to talk about. And I'm very resourceful. I always have answers. I always have solutions. I always have a tool in the toolbox to get done what needs to get done. I think in that way, I'm a very good person to have around. Which is why I was a good soldier. And then what could be improved? Sometimes maybe it would be best not to overthink things so much. I tend to be a very cerebral person and to really analyze. And that's something I've been personally working on and following my intuition a little bit more over the years. And I think my friends would agree, don't sweat things so much. Sometimes it's okay to just go with the flow, relax and have fun.
Always being an overthinker, always. I work on, the older you get, you start working more and more, but isn't there. I so many times I find myself like overthink about things and I just take your energy away and it just gets so much of good energy.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, so let's play now Ryan in the Magic Box and you can ask me a question. Okay, Ryan, you can ask me a question now.
Yes, I do have a question for you. So I understand you've done more than 300 of these interviews so far, which, by the way, congratulations. That's wonderful. Great work that you're doing here. And so my question for you is, what has been the most shocking or surprising thing that somebody has said during one of these many interviews that you've done? What's been the thing that sticks out in your mind as like, oh, maybe I have to even edit this out before it goes on YouTube or whatever. I would love to hear about that.
Right. Oh my God, you put me in the spot now. I've got so many stories, and it's very interesting. I believe, Ryan, that the right question always comes to the right people. I realize that people, they get so emotional. Some people get emotional. Some people, they get very happy about the questions that come up to them. They go like into like memories in life that is, oh my God, I haven't thought about that for years and years. Anyway. There is one fact that happened. I started shooting last year, like July more or less last year, and sometimes people there's the thing about people, they get so comfortable talking, and sometimes they forget that they get so comfortable talking about things. They sometimes they say things that I go like, oh my God, they are sharing so much personal thing. All right, there is one thing that was very personal. Somebody shared that was a question about one of the most scary things that happened to this person, like happened to you, and this person opened up about being, and that was something very personal, very, very personal, and I decided not to cut it off because it was so personal, and this person was okay about it because it happened in the past, and this person, he became a better person and he's over it now. But just for, I just had this intuition of to take this out because it was something too personal, I believe.
Yeah.
So that was something that I wasn't when the person was like tell me how it happened and everything. I was in shock how things happened, but I decided to take away because it was something too personal, and I didn't want this person to again to regret that shared this situation. I just felt a little bit like my intuition was a bit I decided not to put. But again, people, they share so much things, people, they share so much like happiness, things that happened in their past when they were children. But that's my answer to you. But it was something about personal, about this situation that this person had, and I decided to put it out.
Yeah, very good answer. Thank you. A very honest answer. And I think that answer is a testament to the rapport and the passion that you bring to your interview series. So, congratulations on that, and your many successes, and your future with this wonderful channel that you put together. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
And thank you very much for inviting me. It's an honor and a privilege to be invited on such a beautiful project that you're working on.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I'm so grateful as well that you shared so much information. I can't wait to edit this interview and post live, because I'm sure people, they're gonna ask me. We didn't know a lot about hypnosis, and I'm sure people out there, they're gonna connect with you as well. They're gonna learn a lot. And that's I just hope you had a good time. I just hope that I made your day different of your routine as well. And if you don't mind to share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires you in life.
I think I touched on it earlier. Everybody out there, you create your own subjective reality through the thoughts that you hold in your mind, through the programming that you program into your mind. And the way you program your mind is by thinking. What you think goes in deeper and deeper the more you think it. So think good thoughts, think about where you want to go in life, what you want to be, and you will get there. You'll achieve it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ryan. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, William. I really
all the
appreciate
best.
it.
Next time when I come to Canada, maybe I'll pop in Toronto for say hello or something. Okay?
Please let me know for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Take care,
Thanks
Ryan.
very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.